Monday. I am in the comic room. I think today's February 1st, if I'm remembering correctly. I happened to get a couple of things delivered today, and I decided I'm going to do an unboxing. Our good friend Chris Lackey, who I used to say was from Indiana, but then I think he said he was from Iowa, and I think we're both wrong. So no one really knows where he is. Right, Chris? Hey, Mr. Chris. Yes, we don't really know where you're from, but that's okay. I think it's Iowa. So I've gotten a couple of things delivered over the weekend, and a couple things came today, and I thought we'd go through and unbox them and just see what's what. As usual, our good friend Linkovich is in here. First one in here. Nice to see you, Linkovich. Thank you so much. Gorilla Todd, always a pleasure to see you. James Higgins, Comic Foo. Everybody, if you're not subscribed to Comic Foo, here's a cat going for a world record. I don't know if you submitted that stuff or if you've got that yet, but Comic Foo has a whole revamped comic room. If I'm remembering correct, I think it's a recent video. Lots of art and posters, and I noticed you've got an array of music tastes up on the wall. Correct me if I'm wrong, Comic Foo, but I saw you had a Grateful Dead thing up there, and Silver Age Dave, I have a picture of myself at a Grateful Dead concert. If I can ever come across it, I will bring it in. But it's nothing you want the kids to see, really, but pretty fun. So good taste in music, great channel, and very organized, great videos Comic Foo puts out. Our good friend Metarog is in here. Haven't seen Metarog in quite a while. Metarog moved north, and then apparently he said he was missing gators and mosquitoes, so I think he moved back south. Hopefully your move is done and went great. In Metarog, for those who still watch the contest roundup, great thing for the community. Metarog's last video, he's asking for input on it. He's going to be changing it up a little, which I think is great. Roger, the changes you're making. Yeah, 2 weeks ago was Comic Foo's room tour video, but he's going for a world record, and he's submitting stuff to Guinness, and it's just a beautiful. So check out Comic Foo if you get a chance. Let me make sure I'm not missing anyone. I got Slim Comics and more in here. Nice to see you, Slim, as always. We got No Good Comics. Nice to see you, my friend. Happy Monday, he says. Knights of Old. Haven't seen Wave Dave, he says. There's a wave back at you, brother. And okay, so I think I'm caught up. So I've got all kinds of things to talk about. This is going to be a short video. Maybe like most of my live streams, probably about 3 minutes to 4 minutes long, with an upper end of maybe 2 hours. So I should be somewhere in that window of 3 minutes to 2 hours, probably like 40 minutes. I think would be more than plenty for anything I have to say or share. Johnny Two Chips, thank you so much for joining us. I really sincerely hope everyone's doing well. It's so exciting right now. Life in general is so exciting. It seems like there's unlimited possibilities. Every day I wake up, I think, man, what am I going to accomplish today? And most days I get busy with a whole bunch of, slippery stuff that, it's like, oh, I'm trying to get traction, but I can't seem to go anywhere. But then at the end of the day, I say, you know what? I did get a couple things done. So it's really exciting times for us right now. Like the tight range, Gorilla Todd. Yeah, I want to give people, an expectation, and I can't really let you down if it's set up like that, right? So yeah, so it's exciting times right now, and I've shared with people that I'm selling a few things lately, and fortunately I'm able to focus on some, like I said in the description, some oddities. So this oddity right here is kind of a cool deal. This I bought from my friend Brad, who owns Flotsam Comics. And I was in there one night and I negotiated a whole bunch of stuff. I got a Dundee from The Office that I gave my son. and then I don't even get warmed up to the half-hour mark. It's like running. Till I hit 10 miles, I don't feel like I'm warmed up. So yeah, you got to get a half hour under your belt before you feel loosey goosey, right? So I was in there hanging out with Brad and the gang, and I negotiated a package deal for all this stuff. And this came as part of the package. I was really excited about it. This is a Wolverine light. It was part of the what do you call it? The thumbnail, and you can see these rocks exploding here where he's breaking through a wall. But it's a pretty cool little light, and it's got this click switch on it right there. And I was originally gonna gift this thing, and I decided I like it too much, and I've expanded into more comic rooms, so I'm gonna be a greedy Gus, and I think I'm gonna hang that as an ambiance light in one of the new expansion rooms. And so I'm pretty excited about it. And I don't know what year. That's what the back of it. It's got two lights in it. That's what the back looks like, but there's nothing on here really says the year. So I don't really know when it's from. Let's see. Oh, X-Men. I got to put on my glasses. I think I shared with you guys that I have glasses, and they're not perfect, but they make life a little better. Let's see. Are used with permission. Copyright 1993. So I don't necessarily think that's when the light was made, but who knows? Maybe it's from 93. But it is cool, and we always like the things that help the comic room a little bit. We got Paulo in here. Howdy, my friend. And Gino the Dragon. How you doing, my man? So I want to first shout out a couple people. And one of them I'm going to shout out is a newer person that I'm following, but I'm learning quite a bit. I've been at this. A lot of us have been at this a long time, and you kind of put the books in the box, and then you don't know what happens. Well, this one particular channel is called Cool Stuff Collectibles, and Rob is the guy in there. And the other day he made a video which was key versus key, and I think he had 10 or so, where he said, which one would you want, this one or this one? And he told you about them. He told you what happens in the issues, why they're keys, and then he told you what the raw price is and the CGC 9/8. And he did a good job of putting up a book on the left and a book on the right, which fell in the same kind of category economic-wise. And you basically have to go through and say, ooh, which one would I want? And I thought it was a cool video. Really liked it. And with a challenge memory, a lot of times I will watch a video and then the day later I forget what I watched. But I commented on there that it's neat after all these years to watch a video and people say, oh, those are keys. And then you have some. It's like the bonus round. Like one of the books he pointed out was this Century #1, okay, which I had no idea that, I mean, it's obviously a #1, but I had no idea that it's considered a key. And, you know, full disclosure, I have never read this. That is as pristine as the day it was carefully taken off the comic rack. It doesn't even have a board. So there's that in there. And then, you know what, he had a lot of them. He had like giant size X-Men #1, but you know, some typical things that, oh yeah, everyone knows that's a key. But then he had like this Black Widow #1, which I thought was neat. And sure enough, I go in the box and there's a couple of, I would guess 9/8. Well, maybe not this one. This one looks like it's got a little damage on it, but this one's a 9/8. And so it's just nice. And I thought, I really like the format. Every now and then someone in the community comes up with a format, like Luther Manning, Patrick, came up with the CGC unboxing with the surprise where he had the tape over the grade, and they would, you know, tell you what they thought it was going to be, and they make it a contest, Mike and Patrick. And every now and then someone comes up with something that's really unique and cool, and I'm giving a standing ovation to, well, sitting ovation to Cool Stuff Collectibles Rob. I thought it was a great video, so check that one out. Let me see here. I know I missed a couple people just now. Thank you, Metarog, How awesome. So what Metarog's doing, and I'm following along so I could read the comments, he's putting a little link there. So if you click on that link, then what it'll do, well, I don't even know how to do it. You can click on that and then you could sub that person up. And let's see, Dave, I dropped a video response to your video about drawing a line at comic shops. Gino, I read that. And yes, absolutely. Thank you for that. And I have been lax about returning comments on some of these things. But yeah, you got to draw a line. And thank you for that. And I know I said hi to Paulo and Grotto. And then I saw someone else in here. Who Dat Comics and Movies. Who Dat had a surprise auction last night. I was I'm addicted right now to something I'm going to tell you guys about. But I had Who Dat, and I would drop in every now and then on the Who Dat auction and see what was going on. Looked like some good books on there. Okay, so Johnny Two Chip says, Dave, what percentage of your collection have you not read? That would be an interesting one. I would say a huge percentage of my collection. What changed for me was when I started buying collections that you would get, 50 books, 100 books, couple hundred books, and you'd get like issues 3, 7, and 9 of a certain series. And it made it difficult to read, especially if you ever decide, oh, I'm going to start buying collections. When it rains, it pours. I mean, there were times where I'd get thousands of books that would show up in the comic room over a relatively short period of time, and you just can't keep up. And then eventually what happens, people ask me what I do for a living, and I tell them I'm an underpaid librarian because I'm most of my days now I'm cataloging books. And then the other thing with my memory, I don't even remember. Like if I read a book today, a few days from now, I'm going to forget most of the details. So there did come a point where I gave up on a little bit of that. Comic Foo says the creator of Sentry, Paul Jenkins, has been known to pop in these YouTube streams once in a while. Has a channel of his own. Nice guy. Well, there you go. And we see Lego Builder is in here. I was signing out of my old channel for a long time, so I made a gaming, but I got back into the old channel again today. Good. Yeah, Lego Builder's got a nice channel. And The Hobbyist is in here. The Rob Challenge and keep it going. Yeah, hey, I don't know how Rob would feel about that. I'm shouting him out. Hopefully he gets a bunch of subs because I think he's a super nice guy and it's a great channel. Yeah, I think if it brought some notoriety, I just thought it was cool the way he did it. And my apologies if someone else has done that and I didn't know about it, but I just haven't seen it before. So I'm not going to start any of these like, hey, top 50 books or anything like that. But I thought it was a cool video. And we got Avery Kelly. Hey, how you doing? And thanks, Comic Foo, subbing them up. I'm hoping to buy some collections this year. Gino, it's really a crazy thing, and it's addictive. And but once it gets going, you don't really have an off switch sometimes. If you're doing it, you got to do it. Metarog, of course, has read his books. You're probably a fast reader, too. I'm a very slow reader. Paulo is about 2 or 3% unread. That's really good. That is great. And then we got Vinci in here. Yeah, Vinci needs some help. Vinci is one of my favorite guys in the community because he is just plain funny and I think underappreciated. So love it. Thanks for being in here, Vinci. So the other guy I want to shout out, we probably all know him already, but that's Daz the Key Chaser, who does these great videos, and I don't know what he's up to. It's a lot, but he puts out these hot book alerts. And sure enough, one of the things I told Daz is I don't always have the Daz books, but sometimes I have them and sometimes I've got a lot. So the book that he just did a shout out on happens to be one, I don't remember all the comics I bought, but I remember buying this right when it came out. And my buddy Jeff and I've talked about we'd ride our bikes to the comic stores and we would just buy them deep. And so I've got some of these are newsstands, some are direct, and it was just a great time in the life of Silver Age Dave when I was not silver haired at that point. I was just a blonde haired kid and loving comic books. But shout out to Daz the Key Chaser because I think he does a great service. He does like the top 20 selling books thing regularly, and then he's got that the hot book. So whatever they're doing in the MCU, it's of course it's got a first appearance of Stormbreaker in it, Beta Ray's hammer, but it's got Tooth Grinder and Tooth Gnasher, and it's got a couple other characters in it. So a lot of bang for the buck. But it's always nice when you don't really know you have something, kind of tying the line with cool stuff collectibles. You don't really know it's a key, and then someone tells you it's a key. You're like, hey, that's great news. I love that kind of stuff. So let me look here. I got Pages, Films, and Plastics. How you doing? Thank you so much. Matt is in here. 75% red, says Matt. That's great. We got a Daz link in there too. Hey, Metarog, I don't know if you put up a Comic Foo link, but please put up a Comic Foo link too, because that room tour was really spectacular. Really enjoyed that. Oh, and Daz is close to 1,000 subs, which that's beautiful. Riding a bike to the comic shop. Yeah, the good old days. And in most of the books, I'm always shocked at the condition on them. They survived, and I don't remember if we had a backpack. Jeff, my buddy I rode with, he was our dungeon master for D&D. He was a very specific guy, still is, and so he probably had a system to get the comics home. I was more like, stick it in your back pocket and go, or I don't know, I could put it in a comic bag. But it was It was like probably an 8 or 10 mile bike ride each way. So somehow they got home okay. And hey, we got Comic Mag Musings in here, another great channel, great guy. And Impalo goes for the collected editions, and that's a great way to do it too. So yeah, Bill's in the room. So let me show you. Oh, and something else. I don't know who shouted this book out the other day, but someone did a shout out on this book, which I went in the box, and sure enough, that was in there. Star Wars is insane right now. I've been selling some of the Star Wars 35-cent variants. The prices have gone nuts on them, and but I'm afraid to sell them now because I think there's just something crazy going on with Star Wars. So, I don't know. I can't keep up with it. It just seems like there's a lot of hot Star Wars books all of a sudden where there maybe didn't used to be. So, okay, let me get rid of these, and we're going to look at some new stuff that found its way in. And the first one I'm going to do is just a cool one that I've wanted for a long time, and I found one at the right price. And this goes with the mini comics a little bit. And let me pull these out of here, and so you can see them. These tend to run pretty expensive. And I've talked before about eBay, and it's kind of like the Wild West. I never feel bad if I get a great deal on eBay, because if I didn't buy it, then someone else would be 2 seconds behind me to buy it. And so if I see something and it's priced wrong, or it's just a little too low, that's okay. So these are things that the older crew, and it's funny because you order some of these small things and it comes in this box, and you're like, well, I don't know if there's something in there or not. Did I get ripped off? But fortunately, this person didn't rip me off. These are, I think it's from 1976, or maybe it was 1972, but I thought it was 1976. These were also Gumball Machine prizes, and this particular one is kind of cool. I'll try to focus on it. Okay, Archie Bunker for president. There was like a whole thing that went on. Let me try to get that focused in. Hold on, guys. Well, it's not focusing in real well, but it's a mini comic but it's Archie Bunker for president. And on the back, it says vote Foist family, Foist, because Archie, of course, had a little bit of an accent. So that's one of the books. And then there's an Archie Bunker. It's just the bunch of, it's all the red and the blue and the white and, kind of cool. And anyone who remembers I think this was 1976. We remember the whole world was red, white, and blue. Nope, I stand corrected. It was 1972. All right, so this book, it says campaign stickers, says vote meathead for president. Okay, so of course we've got the son-in-law there. And this says campaign stickers, stamps, and signs, 1972, TP Inc., Mini Books Inc., Chicago 60641. And that's the company, of course, that did the 1966 mini comics. Boy, and these just don't want to focus, guys, and I apologize about that if they're not clear. And this one is really cool. That one is Edith for First Lady. Besides her role as Edith, I loved her in the movie Michael with John Travolta. I thought she played a great part in there, very lovable as always. And as a kid, I just loved watching All in the Family. What a great show! Yesterday's choice, today Archie Bunker, is what that one says. And I don't want to open these. These lasted a long time. So the mini books, I can tell you what's inside of them. These, I couldn't tell you. Hey, Gino the Dragon, thanks for stopping in, buddy. I appreciate it. Avery, yeah, most people don't know about these things. And it ties in, I've been showing these a lot lately, but it ties into these mini comics that Stanley did. And they're just really, really cool little comic books and collectibles. So there's Captain America, there's a Thor, but I've been showing those off a lot, so I'm not going to show those off anymore today. But yeah, it just ties into those Gumball Machine prizes. There was a lot of cool stuff. And so let's see, I'm too old to read books that small. Yeah, exactly, Johnny Two Chips. They actually do sell a bigger set where you can read them, but yeah, I can't read those. Okay. So let me look here. All right, so that came in. I think these came in Friday, and I was just shocked to see them. And these aren't in that great a condition. They're a little faded, but I'm going to put them in the little coin holders like I do with the Marvel mini books. I'm gonna make little coin holders for them, and I'll just have them because that's a big part of the childhood. Hey, Ben Compton, nice to see you. Yeah, thanks, Avery. I try to show things that aren't quite as common, and actually this is, as long as we're on the mini comics, I'm going to show this one. I have a person that I buy mini comics from who has a mint set. They belong to her mother, and they were mint, and so I got this box delivered, which is really, really nice. And she does just a great job of packaging these things. But I wanted to show you something that's just so classy. And so I opened this box up, and it says, thank you. Enclosed, you'll find 2 comics that are not high standard, but I hope you enjoy. And so I opened this up, and she actually put 4 comics in there, just freebies. And these are books that either were opened or the edges don't line up perfectly. So it's like, how cool is that? It's like I'm buying one thing from her, but she's throwing in some extras right off the get-go. And then the packaging on this is just beautiful. And so what I ended up here with, let me see if I can get these out here. What I ended up, and she sent these are like individually boxed within the box, is I think I have a set of Captain America, which she said were absolutely gem mint, and I already have a set like that, but I didn't want to pass up a second set. Silver Age Davis, a multiples guy, so sure enough, there's a minty red Captain America. And I won't go through all these because I've already done that before with the Captain Americas. So there's, looks like she's got them 3 and 3 in that box. And then I think this is a set of Hulk that she had minty, which my Hulk books leave a little to be desired. So I'm going to give it a look. Yeah, this is Hulk, which are minty. And so that's beautiful. So that's a set. It looks like there's 3 there. And then, yep, and then 3 more in the bottom. So these things, for a mint one, they can run anywhere from, you know, sometimes you get them cheap. If you just time it right, if you just find one and no one's bidding on them, or sometimes you can get a little cheaper. But usually I'd say for a mint one, you could be anywhere from 50 to, if it's Amazing Spider-Man, you could be well over $100 each on them. That seems to be the one that's a little harder to come by. So I wanted to show that because some sellers are just all class. And so I really love that. It was such a nice surprise. And I try to keep a few around that are a little beat up because, you know, friends come over and they want to look at them. But I got a kick out of it. So I thought that was cool. All right, so the last one that I want to show. Hey, we got Murph in here. Hi ho, my friend. Nice to see you. Yeah, you know what? Chris Lackey, I did a couple of morning ones of these or afternoon. He said, oh, you got to do an evening one so I could catch one. And so I thought, well, I'll do an evening live streamer. Not that this is evening really, but I'm East Coast, so it's after dinner anyway for me at my age. And Mastodon's in here. Nice to see you, Mastodon. You should get a gumball machine and put them there in those see-through capsules. Absolutely. My fear would be they would get damaged. So not with these, but I was looking at gumball machines. At some point, there's a lot of Marvel prizes that came in that type of packaging, the gumball machine prizes. So that might happen someday. The only guy I know that has one is Alan Garrett. He's got a beautiful one that was redone, and you know, we'll see. Maybe it'll be in my future. Hey, Gray Man's in here cooking dinner. I can't get there fast enough to eat it hot, Gray Man. The commute would kill me. I'd get cold food, so I'm gonna eat my own dinner tonight. But nice to have you. Thank you so much. Alan does have nearly everything. I'll tell you what, when I look at posters or anything, any of the little kooky stuff, even those coins, if you guys are familiar with the little brass coins, they are unbelievable. It's really hard to find them, and frankly, I'm always afraid. I don't even know if they are going to be originals, but Alan Garrett's got all that stuff. That's so cool, and I love watching his videos. Hey, look at everybody showing up here. Holy mackerel. We got Gray Man. We got Southern Comic Geek is in here. What a great gentleman there. And we've got JLS, Superstar, always putting out the greatest videos. If you want to learn about the history of a character, he's the guy. JLS Comics has all the best videos out there on the specifics and in the deep details. And in their, how long does it even take you to make one of those videos? It's got to be incredible how long it takes. We got my friend Biggs in here, fellow Ohioan, the immortal Biggie Shack, the oddball stuff. So, all right, so here's what happened. So Avery asks, oh, how much should those go for? And, you know, these used to go for a lot more, but for some reason, I've been able to find them. I refuse to pay a lot for them. And I find a seller, and then what I try to do is I try to go deep on the seller that I want to find anything cool. Because if someone has one cool thing, usually they're going to have more cool things laying around, and they might not even know it. So, hey, we got Roman Curtis in here. Love seeing you, Roman Curtis. So anyway, so a while ago, I had showed this book. This is 1947. I bought this, my favorite LCS here in Toledo, Ohio, Holy Toledo, is Monarch Cards and Comics. And really it's just comics. but uh, I think it's Monarch cards. Maybe it's just Monarch. I don't know. But anyway, they had this for the longest time. They wanted a lot of money for it, and it is clean and it is beautiful. It's got a couple uh, little things here because it's such a thick book. This was done by Stan Lee in 1947, and it's got beautiful, beautiful content. Um, inside here, they have a profile on Sid Shores with 4 pages of his Blonde Phantom. They got profiles of Mike Sikowski, Basil Wolverton, Al Jaffe, and Martin Goodman. And then they have a description of Captain America's creation with images. And it was done by Stan Lee in 1947. Okay, which makes that frankly amazing. So so it took me forever where I was working these guys. They wanted so much money for it, and slowly, 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 I got the price down where I felt I can afford it. But as happens with collecting comics, hey, I see Superpower Review in here. How you doing? So as happens with comics, everyone can go out. Everyone's got their own thing, right? We got our own thing to do. And oh, I better put the COPA warning up. Okay, there's the COPA warning just in case. I don't know if we're still doing COPA warnings, but I don't make a lot of videos anymore. So there it is right there on the bottom. No kiddos, right? So if you're under, I don't even know what the age is, 18 or something, then come back later. This is boring grown-up stuff, right? Comic books and toys and collectibles and stuff with superheroes. It's not for kids, right? How about that? So everyone has their own time and they have their own way of doing things. And what I like to do is I like to set out trap lines. I like stuff to come to me as much as possible. It used to be when I was a young Silver Age Dave, I'd go out hunting all the time. But now then, what happens, you get older, you want to be a gatherer. You want to have stuff come to you. And that's kind of what the trap lines are. So I have certain things I search for and I hunt for. And I always put out feelers to stores and to places. And I go on eBay regularly, and I'll look in, you know, untypical places and try to find the stuff. Well, here's what happened. This book showed up the other day on eBay, and it showed up at this ridiculously low starting bid, and it was a seller that had a few sales, but they didn't have like comic book stuff. So I thought, what the heck? So I reached out to them, and I ended up negotiating a buy it now with them. And this is a book that this person bought in person and never got into. So what I love to see when I open what I'm expecting to be a valuable book is I like to see Charmin, like an empty Charmin wrapper. Okay, so that was, someone bought some, or Sparkle. Okay, so that's, I stand corrected. That is paper towels. So they bought some paper towels. They did go for the pick-a-size, which is nice. That's what Silver Age Dave always looks for. So we got pick-a-size. They had some Walmart bags in there, which was beautiful. And then nestled between, yeah, and here's a Walmart bag in there. Okay. Can't go wrong with Walmart. I do like the variants, so I am going in there. Hey, Mastodon, thank you so much. Appreciate you. And I get it. Phone's dying. You got to move along. So what did I find? I am going to place this book in the 10.0 category, which is just absolutely insane. I thought this was as close to perfect as I would ever see, but it had, you know, some ding corners just because it's so thick. I thought I'll never see me find a better one. I'll never see me find a better one. See, you're learning grammar and everything with Silver Age Dave. But these corners are just perfect, just beautiful. The spine on here, I don't think the dude ever even opened it. And I'm certainly not going to open it. If I was ever going to CGC one of these, this would be the one. I always pack my books with coupons, pass on the savings. That's great. I ordered one that came to me from Canada, and they had a newspaper in there, and I thought that was a really great idea too. Because the first problem is I don't speak French, so I don't know what the heck was going on. But I saw the pictures, so it was okay. Um, yeah, unbelievable find. It took me, I'll bet, 2 years I was working on Monarch to get that book. And what I ended up paying for this was about half the price of what I paid for that. And I don't have any problem with it. The price was right. I'm just very gently flipping through because sometimes a book like this, you might have a signature in there. Can you imagine if we had a little Stan Lee in there? That would be beautiful. Um, and back in that time frame, they signed on the inside, but I don't see any signature. And that's okay. Um, I don't. Here's the story on Captain America. I don't want to open up anymore, but it's the story of how the character was developed. And the Blonde Phantom is in here, and it's just all kinds of great stuff on how they make a comic book, which I thought was beautiful. Look at that. So anyway, so guys, this book I didn't know if I was going to get the book or if I was going to get an empty box, and I couldn't be happier. I pre-opened it because I just wanted to know for sure it was in there, and I can't even believe something from 1947. Look at the color on that. This is going to end up at CBCS or possibly at CGC. And I don't know if there's a 10.0 out there, but in my book, that's as close as you're going to get to a 10.0 as anyone could ask for. Anyway, yeah, hey JLS, I'll go with you. You get tickets, I'll figure my way to get out there. Okay, so Murph, you gotta get tickets in there next time. So, all right, guys, yeah, it is incredible, and I didn't pay a lot, but he didn't have it. First of all, most people don't know how to find this book for starters, but he just didn't have it listed right. And like I say, it's eBay, it's the wild, wild west, so it's really anything goes on there. And sometimes it's first come, first serve, and it just worked out great. So tough books in here. What's up, my friend? Hey, I think I'm getting close to the end of the video. I didn't really have a lot to talk about. I had a few little unboxings, and that's what I think people really enjoy is just one, a little camaraderie and a little bit of unboxing. So unless any of you guys have any questions on any stuff, I think I'm gonna move it along. This video is sponsored by Mr. Chris from Iowa or wherever Mr. Chris is from. I think it's Iowa. Really appreciate you, Mr. Chris. And guys, that's all. I don't even know. Reminds me of a book full of magic tricks for kids. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, the Wolverine is a light from the 90s. I think it hung maybe in comic book stores, and I bought it from my friend Brad. He owns a store that sells video games and all kinds of weird stuff, and he's got comic books. But I go in there now and again. There's a group of 4 guys I hang out with, and I was in there drinking some beers, maybe a month ago or so, and he had that hanging behind his wall. He just expanded his place, just hung it up on the wall, and I don't even know if he wanted to sell it, but he did end up making me a package deal that was just beautiful. So, hey, Jackson Roykirk, nice to see you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Today was a crazy day. Let me tell you something. I had to buy a washing machine today, and our washing machine died I don't know. It started dying 2 weeks ago, and I must have been lazy in the brain that first week because I didn't do anything about it. And we've got there's 8 people living in our house. I've got a lot of kids, and I got college kid and another kid going to college, and then I've got them all the way down. But when the washing machine goes, that is national emergency. If I run out of food, we could survive a few days, but we can't survive without a washing machine. So we settled on a Speed Queen Classic, and it just so happens they're on terrible back order. So I spent the last 4 days calling around. Like, no kidding. I'm in Toledo. I was calling past Cleveland, south down to Columbus. I was calling out to, Chicago suburbs. No one has them. Up into Michigan. And sure enough, I found one, which is beautiful. Yeah, Merv, are you talking about this thing? These things, there's a lot of them on eBay. Like, I don't know, a few months ago, there were a lot of them on eBay. The prices dropped, but this particular book used to be $1,000 to $2,000 book because they were so rare. Well, now some of them have come out of the woodwork. But yeah, that's in insanely good shape. So we're gonna go. Yeah, can't survive without a washing machine. So I had to drive all over Ohio today. Got the new washing machine, but I love it. Speed Queen. It's kind of like no electronic panel, nothing fancy. There's literally, you select cold, warm, hot. Then you select on another dial if you want pre-wash or full load or not. That's it. And then the last one is permanent press, heavy duty, or bulky items like sheets. That's it. And there's a push button on, push button off. Simple, simple. That's right up my alley. Hey, J Boxer, nice to see you, Johnny. Nice to see you in here too. Madman 1976. Haven't seen you in a long time. Yeah, thank you so much for stopping in. But I think I'm wrapping it up. Unless you guys want to like a specific something that I can show, but I think I'm probably shown out on this stuff. Um, and I kind of covered what I needed to cover. I got some cool stuff laying around. I got these. Anyone remember these Marvel superhero the sticker packs? Well, I found these the other day. These are the wrappers for those superhero cards, and I went through and I organized. I think those were the only three that the cards came in: Cap, Hulk, and Spidey. I think those were the only three for those bubblegum cards that it came with. Let me get those over there. So I ended up bagging and boarding those. And then I had some Star Wars ones too. Nothing terribly exciting, but a couple of those Empire Strikes Back and then that other one. And I don't even know what series that's from. Probably nothing that old, but still neat stuff. And okay, let's see. Yeah, the budget is always king. Tough book. It is always king. And you don't want to get out ahead of yourself. What happens eventually, and all the older guys can attest to this, eventually you're like, oh, I want to have all those books someday. And then you're like, oh, I got all those books. And then you go overboard a little bit. And then you say, oh, what am I going to do with all these books? So it's just a funny thing like that that happens over time. Um, See, isn't that funny? See, I'm giving you all kinds of ammo, Jackson Royker. That's great. Um, but anyway, yeah, that's all I have to report, guys. I'm gonna move along because when I start running out of stuff to say, I'm gonna start talking dumb, and nobody wants that. We want the sharp silver with the new stuff, not the old dumb silver. So I'm moving along. Thanks for celebrating this with me, guys. That will be CG Seed, and I don't know if there's a 10.0 out there, but if there is one, this would give it a run for its money. That's for sure. Very exciting find. All right, so hey, yeah, and Comic Food, great job on your videos lately. I've been loving them. And another thing, I still watch comic videos. I don't comment on as many, but I know what's going on in the community. And I appreciate you guys always keeping it real and positive and focusing on this beautiful hobby we all share and love. So my sign I used today, I do use still the Silver Age Shave sign, but in the thumbnail I showed this. This was a beautiful gift from my friend Ray. He sent me a couple of these now, and I love them. How beautiful is that, right? Um, it's just a great thing. So can we see a close-up of the portrait on that book? The portrait on that book. Are you talking about this? Pete, is that what you were talking about? Oh, we got Ice Blaze in here too. Thank you so much. Congrats. Absolutely. I love the book. Um, I'm not sure. Oh, this portrait. A personal message from Stan Lee to all you comic magazine readers. Okay, hey, you know what? That must be Stan Lee there, right? Um, the back, there you go. So that's a young Stan Lee. And it says, "Dear friends, yeah, you know who I love reading? I love the bullpen. I love reading. What a talented and interesting writer. Such a way with words. But this says, "Dear friends, it's been great fun writing this book, and I hope you all had great fun reading it. Now that you have finished, you should be able to enjoy each comic magazine you read even more than before. For now, you know how much work goes into each magazine, and now also you have met many comic strip artists and writers. But don't let our friendship end with the close of this book. Write to me. Tell me what you thought of this book and what you think of your favorite comic strips. I'd enjoy hearing from you. Yours for better reading, Stan Lee." And that's his address. Isn't that beautiful? Hey, Pete, thanks for asking about that because I've looked at it and there's not a part. What is cool if you can ever get your hands on this. Now, I hate to say this beautiful copy here is now my reader copy, but if you can ever get your hands on it, it's so interesting. It's just a lovely book, and there's so much information in it. But again, I'm afraid to open it. Isn't that crazy? All right, guys, that's it. I'm thinking of you. I think what I'm gonna do after this, I think I'm gonna go for a run. It's supposed to get cold out. I'm gonna go for a little run tonight and enjoy that. And maybe tonight curl up with a good book or a cocktail, maybe both. But I really appreciate you guys being in here and spending time with me. All right, Silver Age Dave is out.